Let's talk about those new releases.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think this.
So are we gonna like talk about it, or it's like, is there anything else here to talk?
Conan Chop.
I was gonna say, do you want to talk about Conan Chop? Because I know you're excited for that.
Mrs. Shipwreck and I played some of that last night.
Nice.
So this is the game that Cheapy and I played last E3.
2019, right?
That's the last one.
Yeah. It was supposed to come out
E3.
It was supposed to come out in 2020. I actually checked my I just searched Conan Chop in my emails, and I found like all our shit, and then like that it was supposed to come out.
Right, that was the last E3, right?
2019.
Is that the last one? I can't remember. There wasn't one.
I think so.
There wasn't one in 2020. That's for sure. If there was the one, it was 2019. Yeah.
This game got delayed. This game got delayed 2 years.
It's still good. We liked playing it when we put it at E3.
Does it have a different look, or did I just remember it?
It's the same type of look. And it's a up to 4-player co-op roguelike that is similar to like a Castle Crashers style of battling.
And look, the visuals are very similar.
Similar, not quite as bright and cartoony. It's a slightly different art style.
Because they have more stick figures, so like
there's
it's
more stick figure-ish. Yeah,
it's that. What's that? Cyanide and that comic strip.
Cyanide and burps.
Cyanide and burps.
Happiness.
Why can't I think of it? Cyanide and thank you.
And burps.
Yeah, it's that look.
Yeah,
but Conan the Barbarian.
So it's a roguelike where it's not overly punishing. You still get enough experience each time that you feel like you're leveling up and adding new things. And the maps are randomized, right? I wouldn't call them procedurally generated or anything, because there's not that much changing with them. Like they're just switching up the tiles, right?
Sure.
Like, hey, this time you don't know where.
Would this game be fun to play alone, or is it really co-op or bust?
You could play it alone, but it's gonna be more difficult, right? Because the way that works is if one player goes down, as long as the other player or players kills everything in that screen, then it brings the other person back.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the internet lately, but I don't worry about difficulty in games anymore. So
right.
Yeah.
Does Conan have a class that can just let you just sit back on your horse and throw things and then just make the enemies disappear? Or no?
I haven't unlocked that class yet, but
no, I've been waiting for this game to come out. I was hoping it was going to be on Game Pass.
It's got online co-op as well.
Yeah,
so we could play.
That could be fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Like $20, right?
It's $20, which I think is an appropriate price for that type of game.
Nice.
What else we got on the list?
Martha is Dead. Batman's favorite game, or least favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Superman's favorite game too.
Martha is Dead. That's
she never dies.
That's one of those serious like suicide games.
Oh my God, no, right? No, we don't want that.
I think it is. Shadow Warrior 3.
That's a big one. That's good. Those games are real fun.
Yeah, they are fun. I feel like a lot of games came out this week.
Yes.
And like that, and I don't even. Is it Elix? Elix 2?
Yeah, I watched the video about that. Check it out.
That's a big release as well.
It looks like Elden Ring.
I tried playing the first one and I never could get into it. Like I know the game's supposed to be really hard, but I couldn't even like get far enough where I was like, oh, this is difficult. I don't know. It didn't catch my attention. Maybe because I think it was on Game Pass or one of those Game with Gold. Or
it didn't spark your joy.
What about Babylon's Fall?
I don't know what that is.
That is
you get a contest for it.
Yes, we gave away. Part of the reason why the show was a little late today was they had to give away 10 copies of the game and other valuable prizes. That's the Platinum Games co-op that's coming out tomorrow, Friday. You should get it from Best Buy.
And that's a PlayStation exclusive?
That is. It's PS5 and PS4.
Yeah, that would probably be why.
So should we talk about Elden Ring now? Is now the time?
I mean, do we want to talk about Elden Ring now?
Yes, of course we do. It's fucking show's almost over.
I know. Okay, I bought Elden Ring.
I also bought Elden Ring.
I bought
Shipwreck?
it because
He's putting on his Elden.
you did it.
Shipwreck's got the glasses.
I did not buy Elden Ring.
Shipwreck's got the glasses that make it look like his eyes are open when he's gonna have a little snooze right now. No, you should listen to this. This is important. This is a philosophical discussion on so many levels.
This is the happiest I've ever been on this show.
Seeing those glasses?
Uh,
Oh, I should get some glasses.
yeah, probably.
First of all, let's talk about if he's moving, he's not sleeping though.
I know. Anyway, you were saying.
I'm saying let's talk about the review scores for a second.
Yes,
If
let's
we
talk
might.
about those review scores because this is it still the highest reviewed game on Metacritic?
It's
or
one
whatever?
it's one of the highest. It is one of the highest reviewed games ever. The last I checked, it was a 97, and I knew that because I had to make artwork for the contest.
Okay, 97 still crazy.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's still it might be down to 96 now. Uh-oh. I'm not changing that graphic unless they ask me to. Yeah, this is like, it's a fun game and all. It's got a lot of issues. It's not really a 97 if we're using a 100-point scale, in my opinion. I feel like
it's 88.
I feel well, whatever. I mean, I feel like, but there's a big difference. Shipwreck's got multiple angles of him and his glasses. There's a big difference between an 88 and a 97 when it comes to game reviews. It's like,
I know,
it's really hard to get above a 95. I feel like one of the big problems in game criticism, and not just game criticism, but like movie criticism and anything that is under the pop culture umbrella, is that it's really like covered by an enthusiast press. So like the people who are reviewing Elden Ring are huge fans of the Souls types of games, right? Like none of the publications are like getting their Wombat type gamer on staff to play Elden Ring, right? That's not how the business works.
Not that I know. I'm sure you're right.
Right? So it's like, what does that score really mean? Does it really mean anything anymore? Obviously, compared to other like super high quality games, this one's got a lot of issues. It's pretty janky. It's not like, it's a good looking game, but it's not like, it's sometimes it's good looking and sometimes it's like, oh, there's a lot of fog. Can't really see too far. I just feel like if more publications should have the reviewers maybe not be like an expert on the series, but maybe that's what the readers want. I don't know. It's just, you wind up getting people to buy the game who are not interested in it because the score is so high. And it's sort of like this. It's not really
the hype on it on social media and all around.
It's ridiculous.
Was way too out
It
there.
got you to buy it. It got posted.
Well,
Yeah,
that's our whole point. It
got me to buy
I stayed
it.
strong. I already knew what these games were.
Well, I knew what it was too. I bought it because I knew that if we talked about the scores and the hype, and then it came to, but I haven't played it.
Right. It's bullshit. You can't even talk about it.
Then it would seem a little disingenuous.
We would all be wearing those glasses, Ship.
Exactly.
It would just be silence.
Or it would be 2 minutes of conversation and every comment would be the biggest game release in a decade and you guys didn't even play it.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm like, you know what? I did my taxes. I'm gonna buy Elden Ring. So
I just think that like
that's a great box quote.
Right.
I know,
right.
yeah.
In my taxes, I'm gonna buy Elden Ring.
But when you look at like the way movies are reviewed today,
and after I did my taxes, I needed something.
you needed to die over. You needed more frustration to the max. But when you look at like the way movies are reviewed today, it's like enthusiast coverage. Like if there's outlets get blacklisted if the reviews aren't good. It's just like you can't really trust anything. Anyway, the game, I'm having a pretty fun time with the game. Like I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm the disconnect I think that some people may have about the difficulty of the game is that, you have to be prepared to die a lot. That's going to happen. But I think that maybe the people who haven't played the game, like Shipwreck, may think like the penalty for death is a lot worse than it actually is. No, you don't think that?
I don't think that at all.
Oh.
I just don't.
I actually think the penalty for death is more annoying and unnecessary than it needs to be. I think it would be better if when you died, you just went back to your last whatever campfire.
Oh, I like that mechanic of picking up your souls when you die. As long as you have to pick up your other shit, like
I don't. I find it annoying.
It's the same mechanic, right? As all the rest of the games.
Yeah. But
I've played this game. I don't like these games.
I was gonna say I know it's the same mechanic. I just find it annoying, and that's a me thing. I'm not saying they have to.
Do you find yourself losing a lot of souls over that? I don't.
I think there was maybe one time where I was in an area and it was at a boss where I went too soon, so I wasn't getting those souls back. Okay,
but that's just part of the learning experience. I think it's not a killer. I actually like that gameplay mechanic, and I think the fact that they have that horse, your ghost horse, like you can run at the speed of light, not the speed of light, but you run so fast that you can like snatch, smash and grab, basically pick up your runes and get out of there.
Yeah, when it's in the open world, I don't care. It's when it's
like a boss area that you can't get to.
I feel like if you die in a boss fight that's behind one of those fog walls, the XP should be right in front of the fog wall.
You got to cash that shit in before you fight that boss.
Well, again, it's a lesson learned.
Yeah, exactly. But, so I don't mind that mechanic at all. And being that's basically the penalty for death. It's not so bad. It's just if you find a certain area that's too hard, you just gotta get stronger. Fight some shittier guys, get stronger.
It's not a question of so let's talk about it. Let's go to the brass tacks here. So how many bosses have you felled so far?
I don't know, like 5.
Yeah, I'm probably 5 or 6, I think, at this point, right? So I'm enjoying the game. I've played a lot of the game. My main issue with the game is
stop saying game.
Huh?
Stop saying game.
It's a game. My main issue with Elden Ring is it's more of an internet experience than it is exploring on your own and learning on your own.
You should turn that off. Oh, you're saying looking up, you have to look up shit online too much. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
It's too much of that.
I agree.
It's too much of I don't, I'm playing as this class where, people will say
what's the first thing you did when you played the game?
I watched a YouTube video. Well,
you did more than watch it, right?
Yeah.
You have to fucking
follow the YouTube video on what to do for the first half hour of the game, so you can actually
enjoy yourself afterwards. Yeah. So your guy's not getting his shit kicked in like every 2 seconds.
And I think that's where the quote unquote difficulty issue comes in, and that whole it's not necessarily that the game needs an easy mode as much as the game has to. I feel like it hasn't made a decision on what it wants to be. Is the game going to be punishingly difficult, or is it going to be? And
it's going to make you look shit up.
And it's going to make But if the game wants to reward me for exploring, then it needs to sort of temper how it punishes you. I understand, like, when you first start up that game and there's the tree guardian or whatever his name is, and that's a boss that you can't beat at the start of the game. I really like that idea. I like the idea that there's this boss there that you can't beat when you start the game. And if you try, you're going to die and you have to level up and come back. But if you want me to explore this world, then you have to also let me explore the world on my own and figure things out for myself without punishing me so much that the exploration seems as tedious as the boss fights are.
Well, it's even beyond that. Like, the exploration has to go on outside of the game. Like, now you're on YouTube, now you're on Reddit, now you're on Twitter. People like that, though. Some people really like that because they like to find a game where it can occupy all their time, not just the time they're playing the game, but the time they're at work as they looking little shit up while they're, on hold somewhere. They like that. So for some people, that's like a feature. But for me, I don't really want to be studying video games in that way. Like, I just want to play it. And like Wombat said, like, let me be able to figure out what a sculpting stone is. But there's no way to do that. Like, everything you have to fucking Google. Like, because it doesn't explain. I don't know what a rune arc does, but and it's a little too much work in that front. I like the exploration in the game, just like, walking my horse, riding my horse around and all my, this looks crazy. It looks like I'm in hell right now. Like, wow. But not the Googling exploration.
Yeah.
That's like too much.
Yeah. It's the, oh, wait, what should be the gear I get first is something I should be able to figure out on my own without having to watch a video. And I actually think the game also may have a bit of I think it's a little loot stingy.
Yeah. I don't need it to hold my hand like so much, but like,
no, I'm
give me
not
some
saying that either.
Instruction in the game or somehow, like it's too much on. It's you have to look shit up online for this game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, you do. You have to.
It's just and I guess it's.
And I don't want
the genre of game it is.
Yeah, I want my game to be more self-contained than that. And I think that's sort of where the misconception of the game needing an easy mode comes in. Because I think the game for me, and again, this is a game I've sunk well over 15 hours in, maybe 20 hours in already. And what? More than that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who knows? And I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to keep playing it because I do really enjoy it. And I feel like I need to preface it when I say, but the game would be better to me if when I went into a cave where there were 5 rats, those rats didn't kill me immediately. I understand.
The game is cheap. It is very cheap.
It's a little cheap. It's like, oh wait, what is this? And then you're dead. And then it's like, oh, I guess I'm going.
Oh, it was an imp hiding behind the corner, and there was like no way for me to know it was there unless I went online and read the walkthrough
or read the the glowing thing that someone leaves behind on the floor.
By the way, how much do game sites fucking love these games? Because they just pump out so much content, like how to do this cave, how to do that cave.
10s.
Right, so it's 10 out of 10 traffic generator. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Elden Ring forever.
Right, because you have to, and all the big sites come up when you search. You type in like Stormfront Cave or whatever the fuck the name of the place is. Yeah, I mean, they must love it. They must love it.
I think there's like a middle ground.
That's some other game.
But that's some other game, and it's that's Skyrim, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, Skyrim is a better game. So,
yeah,
it is. Skyrim is a better game.
Sure.
That's not. I'm
it's
not
a bigger game.
saying anything.
It's a bigger game in every way, though. So.
I'm not saying anything incredibly controversial.
But not according to Metacritic, is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
What did Skyrim get? Probably not a 96.
Which version?
Right, exactly. None of them, I'm sure. Probably. Anyway, I'm having fun with this still, and what's really nice is Mrs. Cheapy likes third-person action RPGs. That's her favorite thing to watch me play, and that's what this game is, because they don't make her nauseous like the way first-person games do, and she likes build-up, and this game's got a lot of build-up, even though it's moving pretty slow now that I'm like in my level 20s or whatever, and it costs 6,000 souls or whatever to go up 1 point.
Darkness in the chat is saying that I used to use an app for Fortnite challenges before Epic started putting icons on the map. So I'm going to go and say this is a 2-part thing. Yes, with Fortnite, with certain challenges, you had to like open up an app to see where to go, to find the thing, to place the thing.
I'm doing this all the time in Elden Ring.
And that's annoying. But as also Darkness just said in his second thing, Epic now puts the icons on the map, and I don't need to use an app anymore because they fixed what was annoying. So you literally proved my point in your criticism to me.
Good job, Darkness.
Yeah.
I feel like From Software, like they embrace the annoyance. Like
that's
what makes the game, right? Like
it's part of the marketing.
Right.
Now at this point, it's great, and I'm sure they've sold a shit ton of these. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a successful game. And I got my Steelcase book. For some reason, I ordered the digital copy from Best Buy, and they send you the Steelcase book, I guess.
It's a fun game. Don't
put the code in here.
Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand. The game is fun, and it's worth.
But you'll say fuck a lot. You're gonna say fuck a lot.
I just wish it wasn't so obtuse. That's the word I would use.
It's made its own genre, and
as Darkness says, he didn't hear me complaining before because the challenges were 1 day a week for Fortnite out of me playing 7 days a week of a game that I was enjoying to level up. This is every time I turn on the damn game, I need to go and like, well, what am I supposed to do next? It's the whole game. It's the whole game is me on my phone.
Does the combat still suck in these games? Because it looks like it still sucks.
It's a little sucky. The problem, you know what the big problem is? So both Wombat and I are taking playing as astrologers, because we both did the same guide to build up, and astrologer is like your mage class. The problem is that the most powerful spell that they give you is the most powerful spell in the game is the one that you start with, which is like the shitty little pebble that you throw.
No,
magic
it's
pebble.
not.
Yeah, it is. It levels up with if you have the right staff, it levels up.
What staff are you using?
The meteorite staff.
I have the meteorite staff.
So you level up your intelligence?
Yeah.
It's the most highest damage per second.
I use the one that's the 3 meteorites that you throw.
That's not good. It drains too much. And it's not as efficient.
I've beaten every boss with that in like 5 hits.
Really?
Yeah.
The internet says otherwise.
See, what do I know? Exactly. I don't. Whatever.
Anyway, yeah, right. Like I looked up because like, what's the best spell? And anyway, so it's kind of lame that the beginner spell that isn't that interesting to look at is actually the one that you wind up spamming all the time because it's just the most efficient. They need to sort of tune that. I don't know if that shit happens. Anyway, we could probably stop talking about Elden Ring for now, and so Shipwreck can take his glasses off. And I thought you were going to put on a second pair of glasses, Ship, when Wombat started talking about Fortnite on top of Elden Ring. But luckily,
I could have. They were just out of. You didn't give me enough time to do that.
I don't have much Fortnite to talk about.
You were talking about it just now with the icons and whatnot.
True.
Anyway, we'll keep playing Elden Ring, and
it's such a time sink though too. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna bounce from it eventually. Like, I'm not making it that far. I like to check out the areas are visually interesting. A lot of them. There's like some really cool like sunsets and like ray trace. I think there's ray tracing in this. It looks like, at least there's God rays in this that look pretty nice when you're in the right time. The artwork on the enemies is really good. It's interesting to look at, and there's plenty of like holy shit moments where you're just walking in a field, and then all of a sudden, like you didn't realize, but you were walking over like this giant, and he was sleeping, and he gets up, and now he's fucking chasing you. So there's some interesting experiences to be had there.
There's a lot of interesting and a lot of cool experiences. I like the look of the enemies. I think is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.